Hello friends, I welcome you all on my YouTube channel Rasayan Setu. So friends, in today's video, we are going to discuss previous year questions of classical and statistical thermodynamics which was asked in your TIFR GS 2018 and 2019 exam. Okay, so remember friends, in this video, we are discussing both the years of 2018 and 19 questions coming in TIFR GS exam. Okay, so first of all, we solve the questions coming in TIFR GS 2018 exam. So see, this is your first question, and it says, for a gas obeys following equation of state, that is P into V minus B is equals to RT, where B is a constant and R is a universal gas constant. Which of the following is right? And we have a four options, that is A, B, C or D. Okay friends, so according to your condition, you must find the correct relation of curl U upon curl V at constant temperature, which is equals to your B, R, P or 0 according to your all four options. Understand? So let's do the solution of this question. Now see friends, uh, as you carefully observe this question, we have a equation of state, that is P into V minus B is equals to RT according to our question. Okay, so now friends, as you know, we have a two thermodynamic equation of state. Okay, and in this option we must find the value of curl U upon curl V at constant temperature. So curl U upon curl V at constant temperature is found by your first thermodynamic equation of state. So here we use our first thermodynamic equation of state. So according to first thermodynamic equation of state, what is the first thermodynamic equation of state? See, curl U upon curl V at constant temperature will be equal to T multiplied by curl P upon curl T minus P. Okay, this is the first thermodynamic equation of state. And in uh, in our question we have P into V minus B is equals to RT. Okay, suppose this is equation number first and this is equation number second. So when we rearrange our equation number first, so from equation number first we get P is equals to RT upon V minus B. This is equation number third. Understand? Okay, from equation number first we have equation number third. Okay, so first of all what we do, we must we must do the partial differentiation of P with respect to T. From equation third, what we get, what we do a partial differentiation of P with respect to T. And when we do a partial differentiation of P with respect to T, in this equation we have a RT over V minus B. So from this equation we know that R upon V minus B is a constant entity. Okay, this whole term will is a constant. Okay, so this as it is in this equation we obtained as it is this constant term in this equation, and the T and the differentiation of T with respect to T is 1. Okay, so ultimately we have a curl value of curl P upon curl T is equals to R upon V minus B, which is equation number 4. Understand? Okay, now put the value of equation number 4 into equation number second. Why? Because here you see that equation number second we have a curl P upon curl T, and here curl P upon curl T is equals to R upon V minus B. So curl U upon curl V at constant temperature is equals to T multiplied by R upon V minus B minus P. Okay, now this is equation number 5. Now friends, you see that in here in equation number 5 we have a P, and from equation number 3 you clearly see that in equation number 3 we have a value of P, that is P is equals to RT upon V minus B. Okay, so so put the value of P in equation 5 from equation 3. So in equation 5 put the value of P from equation number 3. So ultimately we have a value of curl U upon curl V at constant T is equals to RT upon V minus B minus here also RT upon V minus B. Okay, So when you so here you clearly see that this term is in positive and this term is in negative, and this will be cancelled out by this negative term. So ultimately the value of curl U upon curl V at constant temperature is 0. Okay, and this is your option number D. Okay, this is your option number D according to your all 4 options. Okay, understand? See once again of the solution. See once again the solution, friends. Okay, so this can be solved by your first thermodynamic equation of state. I hope you understand it. Okay, now we move towards our next question. uh, and see, this is your next question. It says the lattice energy of solid NaCl is 180 kilocalorie per mole. The dissolution of the solid in water in the form of ions is endothermic to the extent of 1 kilocalorie per mole. If the hydration energies of sodium plus and Cl minus ions are in the ratio 6:5, what is the enthalpy of hydration of sodium ion? And we have a 4 option, that is A, B, C and D. Okay friends, so friends, we must find the enthalpy of hydration of sodium ion in this question. Okay, so let's do the solution of this question. uh, Now first of all, we have values of dissolution enthalpy and lattice enthalpy. Okay, so in the question we have a delta H of dissolution, and the value of dissolution enthalpy is 1 kilocalorie per mole according to your question. Okay, and also we have a value of lattice enthalpy. Okay, delta H lattice, and the lattice enthalpy value is 180 kilocalorie per mole. Understand? Okay, and let's assume friends that your delta H Na plus and delta Cl minus are hydration enthalpies, or energy of hydration. Okay, assume delta H Na plus is a enthalpy of hydration of sodium plus, and delta Cl minus is a enthalpy of hydration of Cl minus. Okay, and we know friends that the total hydration enthalpy will be equal to the sum of hydration enthalpies of sodium ions and Cl minus ion. Okay, in this case we have a NaCl as a salt, so hydration of NaCl or hydration enthalpy of NaCl salt is equals to your hydration enthalpy of sodium plus ion plus hydration enthalpy of uh, Cl minus ions. Okay, this is a delta H hydration. Okay, and in a question we have a value, we have a ratio of their hydration enthalpies. Okay, see in question it says that the ratio of hydration energies of sodium plus and Cl minus is 6:5. Okay, so in a question we have what, delta H Na plus upon delta HCl minus. This will be given in our question, and the value is 6/5. Okay, 6:5. Okay, so from this equation we get that delta H, that is enthalpy of hydration of Cl minus, will be equal to 5/6 multiplied by enthalpy of hydration of sodium plus. Okay, this result will be come from this given relation. Understand? Okay, now put the value of enthalpy of hydration of Cl minus into this equation, that is delta hydration is equals to this. Okay, put the value of delta Cl minus into this equation. So what we get? We get that delta H hydration is equal to delta H Na plus 5/6 delta H Na plus. Okay, so this will be equal to 11/6 delta H Na plus. Understand friends? Okay, when you solve this equation you get 11/6 delta H Na plus. So this is the value of enthalpy of hydration. And we know friends that enthalpy of hydration is a difference between the lattice enthalpy and dissolution enthalpy. Okay, for any salt its enthalpy of hydration is the difference of its lattice enthalpy and its dissolution enthalpy. So it is a difference of lattice enthalpy and dissolution enthalpy. Okay, delta H hydration is equals to this. Okay, so in a question we have a delta H hydration. Okay, and we have delta H lattice and delta H dissolution. We have all three's value. So from this we must find the value of enthalpy of hydration of sodium ion. Okay, in a question the enthalpy of hydration is 11 by 6 delta H Na plus. Okay, and according to your question you must find this value, that is enthalpy of hydration of sodium ion. Okay, and your lattice enthalpy according to your question is 180 kilocalorie per mole minus delta H dissolution is 1 kilocalorie per mole. Okay, so it will be 11 by 6 delta H into 179 kilocalorie per mole. So friends, first of all you remember that you don't need to change the units of your enthalpies, because both the values of dissolution and lattice enthalpies are in kilocalorie per mole. Okay, so you don't need to change the units. Okay, ultimately we have a value of delta H Na plus, that is enthalpy of sodium plus ion is 6 by 11 into 179, which is equals to 97.6 kilocalorie per mole. 97.6 kilo. When you solve this whole calculation, you get the value, that is 97.6 kilocalorie per mole. So this is the enthalpy of hydration of sodium plus ion. Okay, but remember friends, when you see your options, the value is in negative. Okay, so you also remember that the hydration and that energy is always released in the hydration process. Okay, when any ion when the hydration of any ion occurs, the energy will always be released. Okay, and when there is a release of energy, it will be negative in sign. Okay, so because it is because energy release, so sign will be negative. Remember, hence the energy is released, so sign will be negative. Understand? So we have actual value of hydration enthalpy of sodium plus ion is in minus 97.6 kilocalorie per mole. And don't confuse minus, because here minus means it is a release energy. Okay, because it is release, that's why we put the minus in your value of hydration of sodium plus ion. Okay, and this is your option number B according to your question. So option number B is the correct answer of this question. Understand? See once again of the solution of this question friends. I hope you understand it. Okay, this is one of the question which was asked in your thermochemistry topic. Okay, now we move towards our next question, and see it says, if a cylindrical box with a lid of cross-sectional area 0.01 meter square containing air at 1 standard atmospheric is transferred into a vacuum chamber, how much of a weight would we have to put on the lid of the box in order to maintain the internal pressure? Assume that a lid is loosely put on the box and it is massless, and we have a 4 options, that is A, B, C or D. Okay friends, so we must find the weight on the lid of a cylindrical box. I hope you understand the question. So let's do the solution of this question. Okay, now friends, according to our question, we have a cylindrical box of this type. Okay, the inner pressure is 1 standard atmospheric, and the lid, this is a lid, and the area of this lid is 0.01 meter square. Okay, uh, in a normal condition, uh, okay, it is in normal condition and it is placed in vacuum. So in a vacuum the P external is 0. Here the sum, here external is equals to your atmospheric pressure. Okay, but in a vacuum the P external value is 0. Okay, so when the P external is 0, it will move outside, the lid move towards outside, and according to your question, we must find that how much weight we put on the lid that it maintains its condition. Okay, so understand friends, for maintaining internal pressure we must apply equal pressure on lid from outside. Okay, when you maintain internal pressure, that is 1 atmospheric pressure, you must apply equal and opposite pressure from outside. Okay, and what is the pressure? That is equals to 1 atmospheric pressure. So we must apply 1 atmospheric pressure from outside, but this is a pressure you must apply, but in a question you must find a weight. Okay, so first of all we can write that for maintaining internal pressure, we must apply equal pressure on lid from outside, and this outside pressure will be equals to your inside pressure. So that is 1 atmospheric. So this outside pressure will be your 1 atmospheric pressure. Now friends, in a physical chemistry we have a very well known relation between a pressure, area and a weight. That is, pressure is equals to weight upon area. Okay, pressure is equals to weight upon area. So here you must find the value of weight. So weight is equals to pressure into area. Okay, so weight is equals to, we have a pressure that is 1 standard atmospheric pressure, area is 0.01 meter square. Okay, now friends, here first of all you must consider the units of pressure and area. You see that area is in meter square unit, and pressure is in standard atmospheric unit. So first of all you must convert pressure into its SI unit, that is Newton per meter square. And in a physics we know that 1 standard atmospheric pressure is equals to 101325 Newton per meter square. So first of all we must convert your units of pressure into Newton per meter square, that is SI units. Okay, because here the cross sectional area also is in SI units. So the weight is 101325 Newton per meter square into 0.01 meter square. Okay, so here this meter square will be cancelled out by this meter square. So ultimately we have a value of weight is 1013.25 Newton. This is a weight. Okay, 1013.25 Newton weight required. But in a question, when you see in an option the weight is in kilogram. Okay, so for converting your Newton weight into kilogram, we must divide it by 9.8 meter per second square, that is your gravitational constant G. Okay, so for converting Newton into kilogram, Newton to kilogram, divide by 9.8 meter per second square. Okay, and you know very well that the SI units of 1 Newton is kilogram into meter per second square. The SI units of Newton is kilogram into meter per second square. Okay, so weight is equals to 1013.25 kilogram into meter per second square upon 9.8 meter per second square. Okay, so when you calculating this calculation, you see that meter per second square is cancel out by this meter per second square, and 1013.25 divided by 9.8 get 103.39 kilogram, which is equals to 100 kilogram. Understand? So the weight required is 100 kilogram. So in a vacuum, when you put 100 kilogram on lid, then it maintain its original position on a cylindrical box. Understand? So this is your option number C. Okay, so it is a very simple question, but remember friends, this type of question is seems like very simple, but here you must carefully handle the physical units or standard SI units. Okay, so these all three questions are coming in your TIFR GS 2018 exam. Okay, now we must discuss the TIFR GS 2019 question from thermodynamics. Okay, so see, this is your next question, and see, it says, according to the laws of thermodynamics, for which of the following processes is the entropy of a system equals to 0? And we have a four options, that is exothermic, endothermic, reversible or irreversible. Okay, so let's do the solution of this question. This is a question coming in TIFR GS 2019, remember. So friends, in a question they must ask us that in which process the entropy of a system is 0. Okay, so it is a very simple question. As you see that when you have an idea of second law of thermodynamics, you can directly answer it, that option number C is the correct answer. So according to the second law of thermodynamics, for a reversible thermodynamic process, the entropy of the universe remains constant, or the change in entropy of universe is equals to 0. This is a statement of second law of thermodynamics for a reversible thermodynamic process. Okay, so according to second law of thermodynamics, for a reversible thermodynamic process, the entropy of universe remains constant. Entropy of the universe remains constant. Okay, this is a statement of second law of thermodynamics, or we can say that change in entropy of the universe is equals to 0, which is asked in our question. Okay, so according to this condition, option number C is the correct answer, that is reversible process. Understand? Now we move towards our next question, and see, it says the Gibbs free energy of a chemical reaction is given by delta G is equals to delta H minus T delta S, where delta H is the enthalpy change, delta S is the entropy change, and T is the temperature. The chemical reaction is said to be occur spontaneously and unidirectionally if, and we have four options, that is A, B, C or D. So friends, you must find the criteria of spontaneity in this question. As simple. Understood? So let's do the solution of this question. So again, it is a very simple question which was asked in your TIFR GS 2019 exam. So for solution of this question, friends, you must know the criteria of spontaneity. Okay, and in thermodynamics, the criteria of spontaneity is coming from your fourth fundamental equation. Okay, so criteria of spontaneity says criteria of spontaneity says that your change in internal energy, that is del U, at constant entropy and volume is less than 0. This is the first criteria of spontaneity, and it is coming from your first thermodynamic relation, that is fundamental equation, that is du is equal to TdS minus PdV. From this equation, that is at constant entropy at constant volume, the change in internal energy is less than 0. Okay. The next is criteria of spontaneity says that delta H at constant entropy and pressure is less than 0, and this is coming from this fundamental equation, that is dH is equals to TdS plus VdP. Okay, here you clearly see that at constant entropy and constant pressure. The third criteria of spontaneity says that delta A, that is Helmholtz free energy at constant temperature and volume is less than 0, and this is coming from your dA is equals to minus S dt minus P dV. Okay, and the last one says that delta G at constant temperature and pressure is less than 0, which is coming from this last fundamental equation, that is dg is equals to minus s dt plus v dp. Okay, so these all are criteria of spontaneity. Now match this criteria of spontaneity with your all four options. So option number first, second and third rejects this criteria of spontaneity. Only option number D, that is delta G is less than 0, follows this criteria of spontaneity. Or okay, so option number D is the correct answer. Okay, which is occur delta G is less than 0. Understand? Okay, so these two questions are asked in your TIFR GS 2019 exam. Understand? Okay, सो फ्रेंड्स ये था आपके कुछ क्वेश्चन जो टिफर जीएस 2018 एंड 19 में क्लासिकल एंड स्टैटिस्टिकल थर्मोडायनामिक टॉपिक से आपसे पूछे गए थे. ओके, फिर भी किसी भी तरह की डिफिकल्टी आए तो कमेंट सेक्शन में आके ज़रूर पूछिए. सो थैंक यू फ्रेंड्स, थैंक यू फॉर वॉचिंग.